That event last night was organized by the Trump campaign, as all political rallies like with the presidential campaign are. Our Omaha Police Department have essentially a mutual aid agreement with the United States Secret Service. And so they provide mutual aid in these when the president comes. Our Omaha Police Department is there to protect and serve, and they go where they're needed. So that's why they were there last night. Everything else, all the logistics that happened last night, were organized by the Trump campaign. As you probably know, it was originally supposed to be in a hangar, and because of COVID, they made the decision to have it outside. Chief said earlier that usually when we know that there's an event that's going to happen and we see how many people are estimated to come, it's usually about 25% of this. Well, they estimated about 10,000 people last night, and security checked 22,000, and then they left thousands outside the gate that never got in. So they estimate about 29,000 were there. The Trump campaign had 40 buses, and that 40 buses were, they picked that number because they thought that that is the amount they needed to transport 10,000 people. Of course, now you're talking 29,000 people. And so there was a delay at picking people up. It was very, very cold. I was there. My feet were frozen. A fireman actually gave me his turnout jacket to wear because it was so cold out there. But it is true. A lot of people did not get taken to their cars by bus immediately. I was told this morning by the governor's office that a lot of people walked some miles, but all those that were waiting for a bus eventually got a bus and were taken back to their cars, but some had to wait up to 2 hours to do that. But I think it's really important just to say that this was not a city organized event. We're getting quite a few calls saying, how did I let that many people come out there, etc. This was all arranged and coordinated by the Trump campaign. We don't have any authority at all to restrict any political candidate from having a rally here. And when the president comes, it's a big deal. And you know, they come with the Secret Service. The Secret Service are there to protect the president, and they were all there. We were also there to add any additional help that they needed.
And did you guys have a pre-planned meeting? I mean, you said that the Omaha police were involved with the Secret Service. Were you actually in contact with the Trump campaign?
No, I was not at all. It was all arranged, like I said, with the Trump campaign and the state Republican Party. And the state Republican Party was involved to the point of helping with some of the logistics and offering volunteer help. And so most of the entire event last night was arranged by the campaign itself. And as you know, a presidential campaign, they raise millions and millions and millions of dollars to do events like this. So they pay for the buses, they pay for the audio and the screens and everything. That's what they do when they go. I think the president made 3 stops yesterday and more today, and those are all arranged, organized, the logistics, everything by the campaign itself.
And what did you think when you heard that some people were taken to the hospital with hypothermia?
Well, I couldn't understand why. I couldn't walk across the tarmac afterwards because I actually had the shoes I have on now on there, and they weren't very warm. My feet were just frozen. So I know some people that I talked to, they were there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and they were outside the entire time. So it was a pretty cold night. I know the president made comments about how cold it was, and but a lot of those people have been there 5, 6, 7 hours out in the cold. So yeah, that is a big concern. Again, it was supposed to be inside a hangar, in that private hangar, and they made the decision, the Trump campaign, to move it outside because of COVID, and of course then that opened it up for people to be outside a long time in the cold. So that's unfortunate that those things happened.